Hello, beautiful humans. It's Adria Firestone, speaker, author, coach, and the wise, wild woman, bringing you unapologetically you, emerging wise, wild, and free. This is our third interview with Siddhi Shakti. I told her I wouldn't be able to pronounce it correctly. Welcome, Siddhi Shakti. I am so thrilled that you are here with us today.
Oh, Adria, that's a fantastic attempt at the Sanskrit sounds, given we just had a practice of that 30 seconds ago.
30
So
seconds
very,
ago.
very well done. Very good student.
Thank
Very
you.
good
Thank you.
student.
Thank you very much. Well, what I must say to you all is that I have had the privilege and the pleasure of being a dear friend of Diane de Silva, who is this same beautiful creature that you see in front of you. I met her many, many years ago when I was performing Carmen with Queensland Opera in Australia. And you have had many incarnations in this life alone, have you not?
That is true. And that was many lifetimes ago in this lifetime.
It
So it
certainly
was,
was. Tell me
yeah.
where you were in your life when you began this tremendous shift. Right now, I just want to say this to us that Siddhi Shakti is an inspired chant and mantra meditation leader. As you can hear by her speaking voice, her singing voice is just as beautiful. And it is so moving when you hear her lead chant. It is really extraordinary. And I like this description. It's better than anything that I could make up. She channels the power of sacred sound to awaken greater connection with self. And self is a capital S. That is the essence of who we are. And all of us and everything around us is made up of vibration. And this is the world that Siddhi Shakti now inhabits. And tell us, where were you? How did things change? And what inspired you or motivated you to change?
Gosh. It was, as you would know, having known me all those years ago, I think I was very just caught in the picture that we get sold in our modern lives about, well,
Ooh.
you go to university, or if you're fortunate enough to, but there's a process of school and study and work, and you're aspiring to have the things that the world tells you is going to make you happy.
Mhm.
And I was on that trajectory, but I didn't have any idea what was going to make me happy. And so I kind of found myself, when I met you at the opera company, kind of by default, because I'd gone to university and I'd studied something that I thought would set me up well for life, but I really didn't enjoy it. And whilst I was kind of wondering what to do, I'd found myself working in the arts at the Performing Arts Centre in Queensland, and then through the connections I made there at the opera company, one day thinking, gee, I'd like to know more about opera, and then getting offered a job at the opera company. It was kind of amazing, really. But I guess that gave me the opportunity again to expand my perceptions of the world, and to be able to be brave enough to travel as a result of some of those connections that I made then, and to open me to just a whole different possibility in life. So I was seeking then, but I was seeking in the external still. And I think that was kind of what I then did for the next 15 or 20 years, thinking that maybe going to places or the having of different experiences in the external would fill up the pain of that missed connection, which was, I guess, with the divine that I was really searching for. Does that? I've
Yes.
probably gone a little bit off track, but
No,
that's what I
no,
was.
not at all. And you even ended up in London, did you not, working in marketing?
Yeah, I ended up at the Royal Festival Hall on the South Bank Centre. I was there for nearly 5 years, I think, 4 or 5
Wow, it was
years,
that
with some
long. I
wonderful,
didn't. Yeah.
wonderful people that I met, and it was the most incredible education because I got to experience, just the most extraordinary artists at the
The highest
highest
level, the
level
highest level.
of,
Yes. Yes.
just beautiful classical music and dance and visual art, and it was just so rich. It was a really rich time in my life, and I had an amazing time. But I just, I got to a certain point and thought, am I going to continue doing this? It's okay, but there's still something not right. Whatever it was, being able to, pop across the channel and go to Europe and see all these amazing
Right.
places,
Right. And
it would
you were
distract.
born in England, were you not?
Yeah, I was born in London, so I had the good fortune to be able to stay there longer if that was really
If
something
you
I felt
wanted to,
called to.
right.
And I I really I just wasn't fulfilled. I'd go to it would momentarily distract me, to
Yes.
land in a beautiful European city and go, oh, look at the beauty of this.
Yes, yes.
And the richness of the sensory experiences and the food and all of that was wonderful. And then that would be over and it would be, oh, well, what's the next thing? So there always had to be a next thing to be leading me to something else to be looking forward to. And maybe that would be the thing of fulfillment, right?
So
And I
no
think a lot
matter
of us
where
have
you
that.
went, there you were.
There I was. There I was
There you
searching.
were, searching, still with a flashlight, still searching. Oh
And
my.
gosh, but isn't that a common experience for a lot of people? I mean, that's my flavor of story, but we do that in so many ways,
We do. We
hoping
do. And what
that
turned you?
external.
Forgive me. I'm sorry I interrupted you.
Oh, I was just saying that it's the external. It's looking in the external, whether that's, excuse me, the TV, the car, the house. I'm not saying that any of those things are
No, they're
not great
lovely.
things to
Oh, they're
have,
lovely, of course.
but it doesn't fill up that yearning.
So what led you to the fulfillment of the learning, and are you?
So probably from that place in London, another 10 years elapsed in which I returned to Australia. I had other great jobs, in really, beautiful, the Sydney Opera House I worked for a year, and other arts organisations. Corporate, felt like I was doing a great thing, working in a field that I really believed in, that was doing good things to help people, and I was still really unhappy. I was going. I remember one day in this big office tower in Sydney, taking myself into a meeting room and just closing the door and just being in there going, I can't do this for another 30 years. What what am I
Ooh.
doing? And I'd been in that role for, again, maybe 5 years. It would be like this cycle. I'd get to about 5 years and go, I can't
And
do
then I
this
can't
anymore.
do it anymore.
And before it had been, oh, well, I'll change careers. I must be in the wrong career. I must be
Exactly.
not doing something,
Mhm, mhm,
and it
mhm.
was, yeah. I even went to see a naturopath. I was in such a funk. I was like, oh, what, even the physical sensations for me, I was, I would say mildly, you'd almost call it depression in a way, because it was
Yes, yes.
just not that, missing that joy of life and connection. And I wasn't experiencing that, even though the externals were all fine. I had a home, I had friends, I had food, all of those things were
Right, right.
check, check, check. It was okay.
But
And anyway,
here it was not okay.
yeah, it was not okay. And anyway, long story short, there were a few more attempts in the external, and eventually I connected with a spiritual teacher that two people in the one week had mentioned this lady's name, and
Yeah.
I thought, wow, I should pay attention. Because I'd read a lot of spiritual books by that stage. You know, I'd read books
Right.
on
Right.
meditation and lots of different esoteric
Hmm.
things. And I was going, wow, this is so exciting. And again, it was a bit like the external. I'd be reading
Right.
the book going, oh, this is amazing.
Yes.
And then my life wouldn't change.
Right.
And
Right.
I'd go on to the next book.
Uh-huh.
And I'd reached a point where I'd, had this enormous library of amazing esoteric books, but it hadn't changed me because
Right.
I had the knowledge, but it hadn't actually transformed me on the inside. And
It hadn't invaded the cells yet.
I hadn't done the internal work. I'd understood it intellectually, but I hadn't confronted my own inner challenges
Yes.
truly. And
Yes.
so it was the connection with a spiritual teacher and really immersing myself in the energy of the practices that she was able to share with me, and
Yes.
that really started to actually spark energy within me and transformation within me, and to move energy that had been stuck within my system, in the energy field, in the emotional frozenness that I had
Hmm.
been in. And it was the spiritual power that she was able to bring through from the divine as a conduit for the divine to help transform my inner landscape. And so that has been an ongoing process now for 12 years, more
Already
consciously.
12 years, my goodness.
Yeah. And in that time, there has been um, big, big waves,
Oh,
big
yes.
waves to navigate.
Oh, yes.
But it's brought me closer, every inching closer to connecting more with the soul that wants to come through and inhabit, as opposed to the lower self, which is caught up in all of the egoic
The egoic, yes,
distractions.
of course. Of course.
But it's been with the help and the guidance and support of some, really wonderful teachers here in Australia, some people I've connected with in the US, some spiritual masters in India,
Yes.
and it's about the actual transformation of the energy, where we really confront the things that we've shoved into the basement and bring them into greater love and light and transformation, really, to become more of who we're meant to be.
And how did mantra come into all of this? Because you began the spiritual study, but mantra was a little, am I right that it was a little more recent, or I could be wrong about that? I'm not sure.
Well, I feel like there was a hint of recognition for me about, gosh, probably over 20 years ago now. I'd been going
Ah,
to yoga classes
yes.
when I moved back to Sydney,
Yeah.
and I was like, oh, this is fabulous. And at the beginning and the end of the class, the teachers would share a chant, to set the space or to
Ah,
close the space. And I
right.
remember one particular class finding myself really looking forward more to the mantra component than to the asana component of the class. And I was like, oh,
Oh
that's
my
sort of interesting.
goodness.
And I'd noticed it, but
Right.
didn't really think much more about it
Right.
until I met Shakti Durga, this spiritual teacher that I
Yes.
had been with for the last couple of years now. And she was using mantra a lot. And so, I was such an avid student in really wanting to shift, because it had been so many years of trying different things. And I thought, well, if somebody's telling me that, if I sit and apply myself to this practice, and there were guided CDs, which, gosh knows, that was 20 years ago, right? But
Right,
there's,
right.
a world of different
Yes.
online programs and things that are there to guide people. So I would do the morning mantra practice of there were certain chants, and I was just really incredibly diligent with it. And then as that journey progressed, got introduced to more mantras, particularly from a spiritual master in southern India,
Southern
and
India that you went to. Yes.
which I've spent a lot of time there, and at a particular ashram, and there was a lot of sharing of the wisdom that came from those ancient practices, and so I was able to really immerse myself in that. And the way that Shakti Durga had described it to me was that it's like setting off lightning through your energy field to start to transform the energy from within. And it can be a fiery process. Like there are different qualities that get activated with different chants. And so some of the chants activate an inner fire, which is to
Mm.
really start to transform the energy from,
Yes.
heavier conditions into something more light and aligned with our higher selves.
Yes.
So they're like medicine for the soul to help us connect more
What
with
a
the.
beautiful way to describe it, that mantra is like medicine for the soul.
Yeah, well, I wish I'd said that originally. I think that came from one of the teachers in, the
It's
spiritual
very
master in
beautiful.
southern India. But yes, they're sounds that our soul connects with, that remembers. It's a beyond the mind experience, even though it's a tremendous tool to bring the mind into a point of focus, to take us into deeper states of
Yes.
awakening and connection and alignment. Yes, it's a multi-dimensional
Dimensional, multi-layered.
tool.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah,
Because do
yeah.
you realize, all of you, that everything around us is vibration? Everything. The bookcase behind me, what I'm wearing, the air we breathe, a stone in front of us, everything is made up of energetic vibration. So when you, as a practitioner of mantra, are focusing your intent that you allow to come through your breath and through your energy and through your energy field, and you focus that to others, you are affecting the vibration. And when each of us goes through change and we are willing to undergo, to suffer, that's all suffering means, is to undergo. When you suffer change and you go through change and you are in transformation, your vibration is changing. And when you work with a healer like Siddhi Shakti, what happens is that because I've worked with her and I felt this enormous transformation in myself. I could feel it in the heart chakra. I could feel like a pain in the back of my heart. I could feel things shifting because of the vibration and the intent of the vibration that comes through a teacher like this. This has taken years to perfect, not just the pronunciation, the sound, the intent, and the humility to allow the energetic pathways to come through you. That requires such enormous discipline. And I have such admiration for what you do, that you have had that kind of discipline in yourself to do this. I just.
Well, thank you for that. I think it's probably not just from this lifetime. For us, I think we cultivate
Yes.
qualities. So I feel like in some ways it's been a remembering
Yes.
of things from other times.
Yes.
But for myself, I felt like I'd run out of options, you know. I was really just so deeply unhappy that I didn't I'd reached the point in the road where there was nothing else that I could do, really,
Oh
because
my goodness.
I'd run away. I'd run away overseas. I'd tried all the other shiny things of the world, you know, to the level that I had. I mean, if I'd been extremely wealthy, God knows what I would have done, right? But you know, within my means,
No, you probably still would
I
have run away, but maybe you would have run away in your own jet.
exactly, right. It would have been a different level of running away,
Exactly,
but I did
exactly.
it, you know, within my budget. I did
Yeah,
it,
yeah, exactly, exactly.
and yeah, it was like, oh my God,
And
this
what
can't
is
be
the
it.
difference? What is the difference in the level of fulfillment? Let's say should I say 10 years ago? Should I say 5 years ago? Should I say 5 minutes ago?
I would say even 5 minutes ago, because I think it's a constant recalibration, because it's like level changes, you know. Once you actually start to start that process of inner transformation and the
Yes.
healing of, we were chatting a little bit before we started this, right? All of the things that we, you know, shove into the basement that we can't deal with, our fears, our the things that we get so irate with about other people, and we project and blame everybody else, and it's actually, you know, oh my gosh, all that stuff is in me, which I
All
can't
we're doing is
see, and
looking in a mirror. I'm
I'm
so
so
furious and
sure
so
it's,
mad at you, but you are a mirror for me.
yeah, all of
Ugh.
those things, right? And so when we do work that shifts our energy,
Yes.
it's like we're climbing the vibrational staircase a bit, you know, or or climbing a ladder, the rungs on a ladder. We're letting go of the lower rung to go to the next bit so we can see a little bit more.
Yes,
And so
yes.
the things that we might have resonated with at that lower level, we have to let go of, because we've, you know, so there's a little bit of uncomfortability sometimes
Because you can't carry all
in
that
that
weight up the ladder with you either. Mhm.
right. But
To
then you
get
have
your
a different
perception.
perspective at this point. And oh, it's like, oh, I resonate with other things. You know, I don't want to numb the pain with, you know, 10 wines like I might have done 10 years ago. I can feel it. I can feel the discomfort of what's happening and go, oh, okay, what is that showing me? I'm gonna look at what can I do to address what's happening now. And so it's been a gradual progression of lifting vibrationally. And then, you know, one of the beautiful teachings that I remember from Shakti Dogo many years ago when I first started studying with her was about the vibrational postman, you know, about, well, what's the address you're residing at? You know, are you in Depression Drive, or
Oh,
are you
I've been there.
in,
What about you?
yeah, yeah. And so if the postman of happiness is trying to come to your house, he doesn't know the way to Depression Drive. You've got to lift your vibration to move into Cheery Close or something like that. You know, I'm terrible alliteration here, but you get what I'm saying, right?
I do.
And that if life is a game of vibration, then where you're residing at in your vibration will influence what we're interacting with as well. Because when you think about, you know, when you're in a light and happy frame of mind and relaxed and in the flow, then, you know, people, it seems like people are lovely to you. Like, I could be generalizing, but, you know,
It's true, though. It's
amazing
true.
experiences can come into your field, as opposed to
Absolutely.
when you're in a place of stress and struggle, and you know, somebody looks at you the wrong way and you want to erupt with,
Exactly. Exactly.
and they're very different experiences that I think a lot of us can relate to, you know, and we can bounce in our vibration through the day. And so it's like, well, mantra has been, this is from another teacher that I've studied
Yes,
with, mantra
yes.
has been like a life jacket for me to help me hold my energy in a certain way, to lift my energy when
Wow.
I'm feeling down. And often it will be that it's like, oh, I don't want to do a practice today, you know? And then invariably afterwards, I feel so much better, you know, because there's a strength that has to come from within, the use of our determination and will. It's like, well, do I want to give in to the gravity of the pull into the inertia, or
Into
am
the
I
poor
going
me.
to?
Does everyone know about the poor me costume? Into the poor me. Yes, I have several of those in my closet. Yes.
Yeah. Or like in this moment of choice, am I going to sit on the couch and eat some crisps,
It's
or am I going to go for a walk and change my energy up? Am I going to, in every moment, what's the vibrational choice? And I don't always consciously remember to do that, but I guess that's part of the world of practices that we have, whether
I
you're
was going to
drawn
say it's
to
part of the
Buddhist
discipline.
flavor or a Qigong flavor, whatever it
Yes,
is,
yes, yes.
there's going to be something that you could use to help you move your energy into a more elevated place.
And let me tell you that this woman has that power because she's done it for me many times. And I understand physically and emotionally what she's talking about, because when I feel down, if I go and I sing, it doesn't matter what I sing, just as long as I am moving energy and breath through my body, it changes my attitude about everything and everyone. And we become magnetic when we raise our own vibration. So if you want to have a healing session with Siddhi Shakti, then you need to contact this woman because she is amazing. Not only will she help you physically, she will help you emotionally. She will clarify the mental and calm the mental. Your power of the discipline that you have had, the love that you have for mantra is so visible, audible, touchable. One can feel it. One can feel it. This is not meeting a witch doctor at the crossroads, not at all, by the light of the full moon. No, this is real. This is vibration that is addressing vibration, and you are composed of vibration. And you will be so deeply touched and transformed that all I can say is try it. Because when you try it, this is a woman who has journeyed far to come to this place. And her journey has opened doors in her own heart and in her own soul, which allow us to see a kind of light, a different perception, to view through a different lens. And the vibration can clear away some of the fog on our own lenses. And it really is an extraordinary experience. So what do you want to leave? I know that you have a gift for us, but also what little jewel do you want to give my wonderful, wise, wild women out there? What a sentence, two sentences, something that you can say, hold this to your heart and have the courage to transform. What is it that you want to share with us, that you want us to keep here?
Wow. Well, thank you for all of that. I will say that what I'm doing is being a facilitator for your own soul to come through. And
Ooh.
so that spark is already within all of us, and it's covered up with all of our stories
And fears
and fears and all of those
and
things.
assumptions, all of that.
And it's the revealing, it's having it is that cliche hero's journey, to have the courage to go into your own heart and having some guides along the way to say a little bit this way, a little bit this way, you know. And I've had the great blessing to have many extraordinary people like that in my own life. And so the encouragement I would give to people is to know that that is there, to know that that is there, and to trust that we're all enough. When you think we all have our own unique vibration, none of us sound the same. We're not all meant to be widgets. We're all meant to express the beauty and the song of our own soul to shine through us in our own unique way. And so that's waiting for us to have the courage to be able to look at our own darkness and to bring that into more love, you know? And so however I might be able to encourage people in that is a real gift, you know, to be able to share. And so if anyone from your community would like to have an experience either of the energy healing processes of just clearing some of the heaviness from the chakras, or the sound-based practices, then I'm really happy to do a 50% off, and there'll be a code, in that they can just, you know, put in the referral field when they're sending me a message.
Yes, please.
And we'll put all
yes,
the links.
Please. Good.
In your description of the video.
I will.
But even I can, you know, share with people some simple practices or mantras or sound-based practices to help them start to have something that they can use on a regular basis, you know, as part of a morning experience, that it might be a connection. I'm taking this time to connect with the divine and to call that energy in. And whether that is through yoga and meditation, whatever it is, you know, we have a bit of sound-based practice as well.
Yes.
Could be a wonderful experience for people to start to take the time.
Beautiful. And you're also on Insight Timer. So I'm going to put this down in the show notes below the video, so you will be able to work with Siddhi Shakti. And you mentioned a word that strikes terror and joy in my heart. You said we must trust that we are enough. And if there's anyone in the world who has helped me see that, it's you. You have helped me to trust that I am enough. And it makes me want to cry. And all of us are. All of us are. And some of us have the courage to embark on the journey within, which is more arduous in so many ways than seeking out here. And when we turn in here is where the jewels and the treasures, the acre of diamonds, is there lying within our soul and our heart. And when we have those who are willing to sacrifice so much, to learn as much as you have, to keep going in this arduous practice, and to become a healer, and to emerge from the wounds that we all have, and to use that wounding as fuel to keep going on a path of healing, is an extraordinary thing. And all I can say is that it is a privilege to know you and to love you as I do, as I always have from the first minute I met you. And I am just so thrilled that we continue on each other's path and that we're always doing this. And it is such a beautiful, beautiful experience. Thank you. Thank you, Siddhi Shakti, for being here today and for sharing your spirit and your journey with all of us. And it is Adria Firestone, speaker, author, and coach, and the wise, becoming wiser all the time. The wise wild woman saying goodbye, and that we will definitely see you later, alligator. Take care. Bye-bye.